If you like cozy, witchcraft, and tarot, then this deck is absolutely for you. Now, I love when a deck markets itself as one thing and the cards actually are that thing. This deck says Cozy Witch Tarot Deck, and that is exactly what you get. There's a guidebook that comes with 128 pages, including card spreads, tarot basics, reversals, and more. But where this deck really shines is the illustrations. Each card is like a framed print that you could put up in your home because it is just so stunning on its own. It makes me excited to actually pull a card because I can't wait to see the beauty that is inside each one. I can't say that about all tarot decks. A lot of tarot decks do a really great job with the major arcana, and then the minor arcana sort of falls flat. This deck, absolutely not. It is stellar all the way through. It's based on the classic Rider-Waite system, although there are some changes in this deck, making it a little bit more interesting, like the Patient Witch here instead of the Hangman. So that does take a little bit to get used to. It could be a tiny bit confusing for a beginner, but overall, so worth it. I think the changes are very fun, and I actually think that they add to the deck in a really beautiful way. And one thing that I really love about the deck that I'm sure you've seen by now is the description underneath the title of the card. This little one-sentence descriptor is just a really fun way to elevate the deck, and I feel like the questions it poses, the words that it says are just so accurate to the cards themselves and make you think about the cards in a really great way. Again, I think that that would be a beautiful thing to have as a beginner reader. I know I would have really appreciated that when I was trying to remember all the card meanings. But even as someone who is quite advanced in their readings, who's been reading for a long time, I love having that question because it just opens me up to the card in a way that maybe I don't always think about when I'm really set in the ways for how I interpret the cards. And with that said, I don't think that the question strays at all from the basic meaning of the card, which I enjoy. It's just nice to have that there as a little reflection. And I think it would be also really wonderful to have, if you're reading for a client, to kind of give the card a little oomph, especially if you're doing a smaller spread or using this deck to kind of get an overall energy or something. It's a nice little question to have there. The characters in the deck itself are just so diverse, beautiful, and of all different sizes, ages, colors. Some of them have facial hair and cellulite, and it is just so beautifully inclusive. I love it. And as I've seen like hundreds of tarot decks at this point, I noticed that I really fall for the decks that show characters in modern situations. So like a character going to their job, having a business, being at a cafe. This is of course something that a lot of the traditional decks don't have just because they did not exist when the deck was created, but I do love having it now because it's nice to see ourselves in the modern age, and it really does help with intuition and picking up more messages for me personally. If you are someone that likes to read intuitively, this can be so helpful because you can pick up on different symbols in the cards rather than just the traditional meanings. You know, seeing a laptop or a coffee shop or a digital clock, those things can be very significant. And this is a great thing to have when you're doing readings where you're asking spirit, what signs should I pay attention to know that you're with me? Which signs should I pay attention to know that I'm on the right path? Having a deck like this can be awesome because you can see a typewriter, you can see a candle, you can see a little crystal ball. It's nice to have things that you actually might see in your real life day to day. And again, it's just a way that it really can enhance your readings, and I absolutely love it. I think the Wands suit is where this deck really shines. I absolutely love all the Wands cards. I think that they're just like so incredible. Although I clearly love all the suits, it's just to me the Wands really stand out. This is the absolute perfect deck to use in autumn and winter or any time of the year where you just want those cozy, comforting vibes. I'm so grateful that this deck came across my Threads timeline out of all places. I don't even use that app, but I'm so grateful that I came across this deck because it is a beautiful addition to my collection. Let me know what you think, purchase or pass.